everyone, this is Mrs. Mysterious, and today we're going to be talking about the legend of the Jersey Devil. So, growing up in South Jersey as a child, I was terrified of the Jersey Devil. My dad would purposely turn off the headlights in the car at night when we were driving back home from Leeds Point Road. That's the road that the Jersey Devil's house was, where he was supposedly born. He would say, "There he is! There he is! He's outside the car!" I would panic and I would yell at him frantically to turn the lights back on. And other times, Dad would use his, the little red laser pointer, and he would point at the trees behind the fence at our house and say, "Look, there's the Jersey Devil." But, eventually I caught on to what he was doing. The story I was told growing up was that a long time ago, Mother Leeds was pregnant with her 13th child. She cursed the child, saying, "This child will be a devil." I mean, I could totally see a mother saying that about her 13th pregnancy, but moving on. The night that Mother Leeds went into labor was dark and stormy. Her friends and family were all at her bedside when she gave birth to a seemingly normal child. But then, the child changed. He stood upright, grew hooves, a goat head, bat wings, and a forked tail. He started growling and screaming and beating everyone with his tail before he took off, flew up the chimney, and went into the Pine Barrens. An alternate version says that Mother Leeds was a witch and that the father of the child was actually the devil himself, and that the clergyman had to go into the Pine Barrens to exorcise the Jersey Devil out, but I digress. So yeah, this is the story I was told growing up in South Jersey, as was with most kids that grew up here. I was afraid of the Jersey Devil for two reasons. One, I lived close to the home where he was supposedly born, and second, I wasn't afraid of him attacking me with his tail. I was just afraid of actually seeing him. I mean, look at this thing. Although, I must say, as an adult, he kinda looks like a mutated seahorse with wings and long legs. But anyway. To fully understand the legend of the Jersey Devil, we need to do a history lesson. Let's start with identifying Mother Leeds. Some think Mother Leeds' first name was Deborah and that her husband was Japhet. In 1736, Japhet Leeds created a will and named his 12 children in the will. And they were also living in Atlantic County, New Jersey, where the story of the Jersey Devil originated from. But this is more speculation than anything else, and it lacks evidence or proof. There's a guy named Brian Regal. He's a historian from Keene University, and he theorizes that the story of Mother Leeds originated from colonial southern New Jersey religious political disputes. He says that these disputes, they evolved over the years, and it resulted in the story of the Jersey Devil during the early 20th century. He says that this colonial era political intrigue involving Benjamin Franklin, yes, that Benjamin Franklin, and his almanac rival Daniel Leeds resulted in the Leeds being called monsters, and Daniel Leeds describing himself as the Leeds Devil, but not as an actual creature. So, much like the Mother Leeds of the Jersey Devil myth, Daniel Leeds' third wife had given birth to 9 children. Not quite 13, but close. Leeds' second wife and his first daughter had both died during childbirth. And Leeds was a royal surveyor with a strong allegiance to the British Crown, and he had surveyed and acquired land in the Egg Harbor area located within the Pine Barrens. The land was inherited by his family and is now known as Leeds Point, and it's one of the areas in the Pine Barrens most associated with the Jersey Devil legend and alleged Jersey Devil sightings. More importantly, in the 17th century, English Quakers established settlements in southern New Jersey in the region in which the Pine Barrens are located. And Daniel Leeds, he was a Quaker, and he was a prominent person of the pre-Revolution, but the Quakers didn't really like him too much. And that's because in 1687, he published almanacs containing astrological symbols and writings, which is like a big no-no. And the Quakers really didn't like this, and they deemed his almanacs as being too pagan or blasphemous, and the almanacs were ultimately censored and destroyed by the local Quaker community. Well, in response to the censorship, Leeds continued to publish even more writings. In the 1690s, Leeds continued to dispute with the Quaker community. He converted his religion, and he began publishing anti-Quaker articles. And because of this, Leeds was endorsed by the British Royal Governor of New Jersey, and his name was Lord Cornbury. And Lord Cornbury was not well liked amongst the Quaker communities. And Leeds also became a counselor for Lord Cornbury at this time. And so, because of this, Leeds was considered a traitor for aiding the crown and disregarding Quaker beliefs, so he was dismissed as being evil from the Quaker Burlington meeting of southern New Jersey. So things are going to start to pick up here and get a little bit more interesting. So in 1716, Daniel Leeds' son Titan Leeds inherited his father's almanac business, and he continued to put out astrological content. And eventually, he ended up competing with Benjamin Franklin. So Benjamin Franklin had an almanac called the Poor Richard's Almanac, and he wasn't all about this new competition that was in town. So in 1733, Franklin jokingly used his astrology in his almanac to predict Titan's death on October of the same year. But Titan was not a fan, and he was offended, so he published an attack on Franklin and called him a fool and a liar. But Franklin didn't really care, and he continued to mock Titan and said that Titan had died in accordance with his earlier prediction and was actually writing his almanac as a ghost, resurrected from the grave to haunt and torment Franklin. And so Franklin kept calling Titan Leeds a ghost, even after Titan Leeds actually died in 1738. So Daniel Leeds' reputation and his pro-monarchy stance, combined with Benjamin Franklin's ongoing depiction of Titan Leeds as a ghost, may have contributed to the local folk legend of the so-called Leeds Devil lurking in the Pine Barrens. So when Titan Leeds he acquired the almanac business from his dad, he started to put the Leeds family crest on the cover of all of his almanacs. And the Leeds family crest was a wyvern, which is a bat-winged dragon-like legendary creature that stands upright on two clawed feet. And it was creepy looking, and people didn't really like it because it was creepy looking. So that may have helped form the legend of the Leeds Devil and the association of the Leeds family with devils and monsters. Wyvern also is such a weird word. So by the late 1700s and the early 1800s, the Leeds Devil had become a legendary monster or like a ghost story in southern New Jersey. And then into the mid-19th century, stories continued to circulate in southern New Jersey of the Leeds Devil, a monster wandering the Pine Barrens. And the oral tradition of the Leeds Devil ghost stories or monster stories became popular in the Pine Barrens area. So even though the Leeds Devil legend existed since the 18th century, the more modern depiction of the Leeds Devil is now known as the Jersey Devil. It first became truly standardized during the early 20th century. References to the Jersey Devil don't appear in newspapers or other printed materials until the 20th century, but the first major story was in 1909. I know this is a lot of information to take in, but there's this awesome book called The Domestic Life of the Jersey Devil by Bill Sprouse. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. He's a local author in the area, and it's a fantastic book, and it really dives into the story of Daniel Leeds, the South Jersey area, and the Quakers. So if you're interested in it, in the subject matter, I really recommend that you read it. But moving on. There have been a lot of claims of sightings of the Jersey Devil over the years. If you ask a local or ask a business owner in the area, they probably have a story for you. But let's look at a few throughout history. Joseph Bonaparte, brother of Napoleon, claimed to have seen the Jersey Devil while hunting in his Bordentown estate in 1820. But the largest sighting happened in 1909. During the week of January 16th to the 23rd in 1909, there were multiple sightings throughout the state and beyond. Stories of sightings were publicized in newspapers in Haddon Heights, Camden, Bristol, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. There were reports of unidentified footprints in the snow that were thought to be the Jersey Devils. There were reports that the devil attacked people. It created total mass hysteria. Schools were closed, and workers were told to stay home. Vigilante groups formed to search for it, and the Philadelphia Zoo even had a reward for anyone who could catch the creature, which of course prompted multiple hoaxes, all of which were pretty bad. Everyone has their own theories. Skeptics believe that the Jersey Devil is nothing more than a scary story created by settlers to scare and entertain people, or scare kids like me. It could have been a byproduct of animal misidentification. Jeff Brunner of the Humane Society of New Jersey thinks the sandhill crane is the basis of the New Jersey stories, adding, quote, "There are no photographs, no bones, no hard evidence whatsoever, and worst of all, no explanation of its origins that doesn't require belief in the supernatural," unquote. The legend could have also come from the people living in the Pine Barrens, known as Pineys. Quick explanation, the Pineys are a negative connotation similar to the rednecks of the South. The Pine Barrens used to have a bad rap. It was considered a very dangerous place, an uninhabitable place filled with highwaymen and pine robbers. Pineys were considered poor, uneducated, outcasts, poachers, moonshiners, Native Americans, and slaves. It's possible that the Pineys created stories about the Pine Barrens to scare out outsiders away, so that they would be left alone. But the devil lives on. The Jersey Devil plays a pretty big role in South Jersey culture. We have t-shirts, books, action figures, and even adult beverages named after him. There's a popular bar called JD's, which I'm personally a frequent patron of. There's multiple research groups, including the Devil Hunters, who search all over South Jersey to find evidence that the Jersey Devil does in fact exist. The Jersey Devil has even made appearances in movies, video games, and documentaries. There was an X-Files episode made about him. The national hockey team, the New Jersey Devils, was named after him, although ironically, many Devils fans are from the northern part of the state. Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey announced that they are building the Jersey Devil coaster, which I cannot wait to ride once it's finished. Great Adventure also had a Jersey Devil-themed haunted hayride when I was a kid, and it scared the bejesus out of me. The show Paranormal State on A&E tried to find the devil in the woods at night with night vision cameras not far from Leeds Point Road. They thought they recorded the Jersey Devil on film, but not to bash them, what they filmed is what we would call a deer. Just a plain old deer. I won't include a picture, but you can look that one up. I digress. So, do you believe in the Jersey Devil, or is it just a legend that will forever be ingrained in South Jersey culture? As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing. If you have any suggestions, cases, or stories you would like me to cover, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, stay safe.